There's no shortage when it comes to application proxies, but if you're one of those who like simplicity and great user experience out of the box while still requiring performance and safety, Traefik is really hard to beat. It's not the absolute fastest, it's not rigged for load balancing only, but if you look at the entire package, I can't see a competitor. It natively integrates with Docker, Kubernetes, ECS, Nomad, or any server really, making your life simple. It has too many extensions to count, middleware to bend requests to your will, and an interface making the experience a breeze. And that's something I can't say about the elephant in the room, Nginx. Let me show you how I set it up in seconds, proxy to backend applications, add encryption, and even use it as an ingress controller. In times when Nginx is being retired from Kubernetes as an ingress, and no, there are no security issues with it, on the contrary, we'll get to that later, Traefik was quick enough to show a seamless transition, making it a great alternative contender. Similar to Nginx, Traefik is an open source backed by its own company. The first major version was released 10 years ago, so it's not new to the game. Written in Go by Emil Vogue, who built it because he thought other options were not well suited for dynamic environments, which, if I may, is spot on. And I'll show you exactly why. Many users saw the appeal of Traefik, and in 2020 they crossed the 3 billion downloads mark with over 100 available supporting plugins, making it one of the most popular options in its category. Like many similar proxies, Traefik is easily configurable in endless ways. The most popular is a config file, and we'll get there, but starting here in a small compose file already shows the flexibility of adding provider and some entry points through process flags. We'll expose HTTP and an AT80, you'll soon discover why, and expose the Docker socket for Traefik to be able to identify Docker processes and expose them. Docker compose up, and a few seconds later on port AT80 we get a wonderful interface. I've always seen this as one of Traefik's biggest selling points. You get instant visibility into the server with zero extra work. While we don't have much configured yet, there's already a layout of routes, services, and middlewares monitored. A router shows status, rules of access, and other important information, and don't let this upgrade button on top deter you. Traefik is not only an extremely popular open source, I just caught it last week again on the daily GitHub trending list, and not for nothing. I can say with confidence this server lives up to its promises. I've used it dozens of times in high-load production environments, proxying and rerouting mainly, but also with the Kubernetes ingress controller when the top priority was clarity and ease of monitoring and configuration. If there's one thing Traefik excels at, it's user experience. Next to HTTP, you can obviously add TCP and UDP routes and services, and add specific middlewares like IP allow list or rate limitation of simultaneous connections. But that's nothing compared to the plugins. I mean, there's really no end to this page that extends Traefik with cache, geoblocks, IP whitelister, Google's OIDC, which I almost always use to access my back office. There's Cloudflare, Captcha, robots.txt, and if you dig deep enough, you'll even find a plugin that controls your cloud resources. If you hit install on any of them, you get a quick YAML to add or a CLI flag to paste. Pretty damn simple. In production environments, the most frustrating moments aren't the bugs themselves, it's the time lost switching context, hopping between Slack, Jira, and GitHub, trying to piece together what's broken, who owns it, and why. That's where Incident.io shines, built for engineers who are allergic to chaos and love clarity. Yeah, not for those of us who thrive on adrenaline rush debugging at 2 AM. This platform ties together incident management, postmortems, and even my personal favorite, real-time status pages. The magic? It's Slack native. Declare an incident in a single command, and the platform automates role assignments, notifications, and documentation, all without leaving your space. Need to update stakeholders during a crisis? Trigger a pre-built status page in seconds. But it doesn't stop there. It interacts with all DevOps systems. Jira ticket, auto-generated from incidents, and their AI workflows already flag patterns in alerts, like recurring failures tied to specific services. While competing tools focus on checklists, Incident.io treats crisis management as a feedback loop. Because resolving a problem isn't the end, right? You don't want the same root cause resurfacing in 2 ways under the same damn moon. For teams using Traefik or any modern proxy stack where traffic failures cascade fast, this platform buys you time to debug, time to communicate, and most importantly, time to avoid making the same mistake twice. Huge thanks to Incident.io for sponsoring the video and supporting the channel. Now, back to the video. Since we've started Traefik with the Docker provider, I automatically get a route to my local Grafana running container. To actually proxy to it, I'll have to add a rule. Many people confuse this visibility to an actual proxy path, and that's a common mistake, thinking host Grafana allows you to browse to HTTP Grafana. If I change the local host file, making sure Grafana ends up in the local network, I can then browse to Grafana at port 3000, which unsurprisingly works, but HTTP Grafana will hit Traefik, so there will be no error to begin with, but then it'll hang and eventually time out. To create a proper proxy, we need to do some plumbing. I'll add whoami container as another example, but this time it's not just a container. It also has a label saying Traefik rule with host whoami.localhost. The beauty here is that Traefik will pick this up on its own, and that's why it works so well in dynamic environments. And contrary to our previous Grafana, this one has a rule used by routers listing whoami.localhost. So let's use that as is, and there we have it. Lots of information I would rather you don't see proxied through Traefik. I want to further stress how important this feature is. Kubernetes users are probably aware of the concept with many other platforms including Prometheus and the likes. You deploy an application, add a label, and someone, you don't care who, is scanning those labels, and if it matches the rule, it gets picked up and updated in the configuration without you having to lift a finger. Basically, making something out of thin air and just yelling, "I'm here," Traefik hears you and aligns. More about Kubernetes in the description. We're not here for that, we're here for proxying. So now that we've learned the label concept, let's add Grafana as well. Same deployment as earlier, but with a label. That label points to Grafana localhost, and there it is in the browser through Traefik. Awesome. That's all great, but one of the greatest powers of Traefik is making encrypted communication, aka SSL, aka HTTPS, accessible to everyone. It really doesn't get any simpler than this. I'll go ahead and create my own certificate that no one trusts for the demo and create a simple TLS certificate pointer to those two files. This is only done for convenience. You can put that wherever you want. For the Traefik config, we'll remove the insecure flag. That is just done for verbosity. You don't have to use it as it's already set by default. We'll point to the certificate pair path, add port 443 and mount the certificates. Real pros, add the read-only mount permission just for finesse. We'll add dashboard TLS and make sure our applications are set accordingly with their own labels. Moment of truth. HTTPS, that's a good sign. There's a risk of my newly created certificate not being trusted by anyone, which is understandable, and it's not trusted because it's self-signed. Fine. Nevertheless, we're in. Same goes for the other services. Just this simple change used to be a nightmare with proxy servers. You'd have to change the entire config, create your own chain of certificates by combining them into one file, then securely add it to the server and wait to see what happens. By the way, to make things even simpler, you'll find an Acme configuration to automate the certificate process with auto renewals. If you were wondering, then yes, Let's Encrypt is easily integratable, but there's a catch. You can't really run highly available cluster. So for that, unfortunately, you'd have to use Traefik Enterprise. Keep that in mind. The next big Traefik concept is its middlewares. If you've ever built a project with Express.js, the idea is similar. You basically add a modular filter to handle requests going through. Like redirecting SSL, it can handle XSS, and so on. Here's another common middleware, which is another thing I hope you're not running in publicly facing services. Running basic authentication with salted credentials, allowing a nice login to a service you'd like to be kept more protected. And now for the main event, Traefik as your ingress controller. While this isn't a new thing, with recent news about Kubernetes retiring Nginx as an ingress controller, and again, no, it's not due to security issues, but rather the lack of constant maintenance to the controller and some other features like running ad hoc snippets that SIG security is not happy with. Politics aside, the Traefik team jumped on that wagon head first, offering the incredible feature of natively supporting existing Nginx annotations, making your transition pretty much seamless. Using Traefik as an ingress is as simple as it gets. Firing up a local minikube to support us on this short journey, adding the Traefik helm repo and its dedicated namespace. With the Traefik load balancer set up, I can minikube tunnel or port forward to reach out to it. But we're not here for the fancy dashboard, we want ingress. So whoami takes the Traefik annotation, set with the rule for whoami.local. That's it. We apply the rule, make sure it's accepted, and everything looks good to go. Now, local isn't a known DNS on my machine, so we'll make sure to send the application.local to my home IP. Port forward the service from my local 8080 to Kubernetes ingress port 80, and all that's left is to curl with the configured header and we get 200. If I remove -i, I will fetch the actual data. Mind you, this is a whoami service running inside a container, and there's a forwarded server header below indicating we routed through Traefik. By the way, there's a dedicated video to curl on the channel if you're interested. Traefik is the absolute best package when it comes to all the points mentioned above. But if you need a beast that is more flexible in injecting snippets, load balancing, or sheer speed as a web server, where the above isn't as critical, you probably want to get some Nginx sweetness. Check this video next and thank me later. With that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.